You know, if there's one thing that still has me in a state of constant amazement over all of this Sweet Baby Inc. Gamergate stuff, is the fact that this thing, this living, breathing media cycle refuses to die. And it baffles me, because I would have sworn that, you know, this would have died a week ago, 2 weeks ago. You know, right after it started, I figured this thing would be gone. And yet here we are, and every day there's something new, some new fresh hell creeps around the corner, and it just blows my mind how out of touch these people really are. So I saw this really funny article from Niche Gamer talking about how Microsoft is cautioning developers to avoid curvy female characters. Now that, in a nutshell, kind of describes everything that we've seen coming out of the diversity, equity, inclusion people, where they just hate beauty, they hate anything that doesn't look like, you know, a overweight, half-shaved head, lesbian-looking character. They don't want anything to have true masculinity or true femininity. Everything it needs to be somewhere in the middle. It needs to be androgynous. It needs to be unattractive, more modernized, more sensible, because it needs to appeal to the average everyday person and not the thing that you most aspire to be or that you dream about being one day. You know, they don't want you to have big dreams. They want you to be content with where you are and just stay miserable is what they want. So this article says Microsoft urges developers not to create female characters with exaggerated body proportions on their official site to support game devs. Now remember, Xbox is the one that's putting that inclusion package, that toolkit out there. So just put those two together. Microsoft really is one of the biggest problems that this entire Sweet Baby Inc. thing has kind of uncovered, with these big corporations enforcing this massive ESG agenda where they're pushing the DEI on all these developers, on all these people, whether they want it or not. And we are seeing some pushback from some developers, but unfortunately there's not enough of them that are being vocal about it to overwhelm the majority who are just going along with it. So the article goes on to say the site, titled Product Inclusion Action, Help Customers Feel Seen, includes a bullet list of considerations they urge developers to make when working on their product. And it says, are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? Do they have exaggerated body proportions? When the story allows, do you show male characters who display a full range of emotions, including joy, sadness, and vulnerability? What they're asking is, did you make the male characters, wimpy enough? So this is obviously, you know, a big thing, because Stellar Blade is one of these games that is going to be massive next month when it comes out. And they used a real woman as the model, the motion capture model. And yet they want to claim that these character developments or these character body types are exaggerated or unrealistic. So we've seen the recent spurging out from some of these companies that definitely try to appeal to the more modern audience. The Kepler Interactive operations manager who spurged out on Twitter and then promptly deleted her account. This was 24 hours ago, and now her account's already gone. We've seen people like Tom Caswell, who works at GameSpot, saying how it's just really odd to see all this diversity among the public at the biggest gaming convention on the East Coast. I could have sworn anti-woke shitheads on the internet insisted that gaming belonged to them. Seems like they may actually be completely irrelevant. And these are the people in the games media that are really, really pushing their luck. Just gonna say, they're biding their time until they're gone. Now this morning, and I did a thread on this, and we'll go into the thread in a minute, there was another catastrophe caused by a woman that just should have said nothing and just left well enough alone. But here we are, and she did, and so we're going to talk about it. The Unleashed Games founder and CEO Irina Pereira brags about excluding white male characters from alpha build of upcoming game Haven. And this is from That Park Place. So it says, in a now deleted post to X, Pereira wrote, just wait until they notice that none of our starting characters in our alpha build are white males. None out of 6. She added, have at it. Again, I will say representation matters, and I don't know how many games have lacked female characters or created gameplay penalties for being a female character, or created vertex shading on white skin to represent people of color. Games should represent. In another post, she also wrote, representation matters. Inclusivity is not the same as racism. Enjoy hating on me for today. I'll go back to making games. Yeah, okay. Sure you will. For 5 minutes. So the funniest part and most disturbing part was when Blabbering Collector, I believe she's the co-host of Side Scrollers podcast, said, "Imagine if you wrote black males. How would that look? Equality, not equity." To which Irina responded, "Considering that 95% of video game characters are white and male, a poor representation of the diversity of actual players, I thought it would be a fun experiment." Actually, basing it off traditional statistics, back before gaming went all normie and mainstream, it was like 99.9% male. And I realize that doesn't represent the current demographic, but if you were to look at the highest percentage of who pays the most money for the most amount of video games, I guarantee you it's still going to be, in this country, in the US, very, 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 very predominantly white male gamers. So she says, "We started with all female characters." Somebody asked her, "Don't touch their games, their CEO..." Oh, sorry, this wasn't asked. This was somebody who responded. Said, "Don't touch their games. Their CEO legit just posted that they don't include white people in their characters. This is what happens when you hire a diversity CEO." And she responded, "Alpha build, demo characters, pre-release, but details don't matter, only outrage." The woman tried to start outrage, and then she's complaining that people are being outraged by it, okay? So, yeah, that was kind of the gist of it. So we can go through this thread that I made here. And the most interesting thing, so I said, Irina Pereira, CEO of Unleashing Games, brags that their upcoming project won't feature any white males in their alpha build. And sure enough, there it is. I said Irene was also a speaker at the GDC. Now, these tweets have also been deleted. I got to share them. This is the mindset of somebody who is now a modern game developer. From her tweet a couple days ago, or was this from today? Hang on a second. This was from yesterday. Oh no, sorry, 22nd. 2 women sharing intimate stories about getting our periods in the GDC 24 merch store is the state of the game industry. Hashtag this is what game dev looks like, or being a game dev, or whatever. So when Blabbering Collector asked her and said, "This is a parody, right?" She goes, "Fully serious. It's nice to have other women in this industry and to be vulnerable and real with them in a way that we can't be with the majority of devs. This GDC was the most female-powered of any of my past GDCs. I am 100 here for this." Now remember, the GDC this year also had the group of 50 developers who got together and screamed outside of it. And you can see the little speech that she gave, the little seminar she hosted, was calling lady powerhouses in games. Join myself, Carol Mitu Kandikar. Mitu Kandikar, I know that name for a reason. I'm not sure why. Consider this your invitation to a party. Mark your calendar for Wednesday, 3/20 at 5 p.m. But there are a lot more of us executive leaders leading change and redefining power within the games industry. Redefining power, that sounds like the Acolyte over at Star Wars. Power and who has the ability to use it, right? Yeah, and you can see Unleashed Games confirmed it that they were hosting that, and they are developing this game Haven. And so I said her company's website reads more like a group of people engaging in social engineering than game development. And you can see here, Irina Pereira has been making games for over 24 years on both PC and mobile. She has made a name for herself in the world of game development by helping guide teams to focus deeply on the player experience with both user testing and player-focused design methodologies. With a background in photography, anthropology, and religion, Irina brings a fresh perspective and a unique skill set to games. I'm not sure what backgrounds in photography, anthropology, and religion brings to games. She started her career as a web developer and grew into a user interface engineer on World of Warcraft. So then the website goes on to get into the real heart of it. Expect subversion, revolution, immersion. In here, they talk about respect, being that respect is fundamental from working internally as a team to how we treat our players. Respect runs deep in our veins and our being, except if you are a white, straight gamer. And now you can see here, she deleted the tweets. She didn't just delete the tweet about not having any white playable characters, she deleted the tweet about her period talk in the Game Developer Conference merch store, apparently. So yeah, these people are nuts, and we continue to see them day in and day out, and the worst part is they're outing themselves. They don't even care to hide it. They are just telling us exactly who they are, and you should believe them when they tell you. All right, guys, I will see you later. And if you made it this far, thank you for watching the video. We do have 2 channels, one for daily uploads, the other one for more of my live streams and hot takes. Links to both are down below, as well as the ability to join as a channel member for as little as $3 a month, and that'll greatly help us out. Much appreciated. We also have links to our Etsy accounts down below, as well as our website. We also have locals and Subscribestar. If you didn't want to support us on YouTube, you can support us through those. Thanks again for being here, and we will see you on the next one.